My path to starting Matchstone was very, very nonlinear. While I was an entrepreneurship major as well as a marketing major, I didn't go into either of those fields after school. Actually, I went out to Colorado and I skied for 2 years. I thought I might get involved in the ski industry. I wasn't really sure where my career path would go. Eventually, it led me back to Chicago, moving in with a bunch of other IU alums. And I took a job at a small company that seemed like it was going places, but my job wasn't really even in marketing. But because I made that pause in my career, during that time I took off, the consumer web really started to take off. Things like Facebook started to take off. In fact, a funny story is the only reason I was able to join Facebook when I did is because as a graduation present, my parents gave me a lifetime membership to the Alumni Association, which gave you alumni.edu. Thus, I was able to join Facebook about 2 or 3 years before anyone in my age range. So during that pause that I had off, the consumer web really started to take off, and I really started to understand that from a ground floor. Another funny story is one of my favorite writers left ESPN.com and started a blog. I didn't know what a blog was, so I learned what a blog was. So really you can see the infancy of the consumer web started, and that wouldn't have happened if I had started my career, or I wouldn't have timed it with the start of my career if I had immediately dove into a career post-IU. So during that pause, as the web started to really build from a consumer standpoint, I understood that. And so I was able to go to my bosses very early on at my first job and suggest the idea of starting a social media department. And they said, okay, kid, you're in charge. I had to take a pay cut to do it, but I understood immediately that the responsibility that I would be gaining was going to be worth it. And so slowly I started to gain more and more control over our consumer web marketing. And as the web took off and those marketing tactics took off, so did our business. And it started to lead me on a path where eventually I left for another agency, gained different experience, started another company on the side with a friend, sold that company. That company then hired me back as a consultant to the point where I had enough revenue coming in the door that led me to starting an agency. When I went to IU as an entrepreneurship major, I knew I wanted to start a business. I had no idea what kind of business, but by connecting those dots along the way and evaluating those risks and trying to understand the trade-offs and decisions I was making along the way, it really tied things back together.